I know I've been on a Divorce Diaries rant for quite a while now, but I just want to take a break to just remind you about this podcast and how I record it. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast everywhere. Seriously. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, that's anchor.fm to get started, or download the Anchor app.
You are now listening to the Divorce Diaries podcast with your host. Well, that's a secret. No names, ages, or any other identifying characteristics will be used as we protect the young and innocent. You'll be taken on a journey as one man considers getting a divorce or remaining married. The Divorce Diaries daily entries chronicle the decision-making processes in real time as they unfold day by day. He hopes to add a bit of clarity to his sometimes muddled mess of a marriage. Cheating, overspending, sex, sadness, and betrayal are the characteristics of this marriage. Is he making the right choice? Welcome to the Divorce Diaries. Entire seasons are released on Patreon weeks before anywhere else at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Link below in description. Now for today's episode.
Welcome to the Divorce Diaries podcast. I'm going to shoot this one from the hip today. You're a narcissist. I know you are, but what am I? It's funny right now. I am in the midst of removing myself from what I'm now finding out with my therapist's help, that I have been in an abusive relationship. And to be fair, my therapist has not met with my wife, and to diagnose someone with narcissistic personality disorder, you need to meet 5 of the 9 criteria of being a narcissist. And I am a narcissist, but I don't have narcissistic personality disorder. I seem to meet at the very max 3 of the 9. Maybe in another podcast. No, fuck it. Let me try to do it right now. Just going to let me pull up the 9 personality disorder types for narcissistic personality disorder. 9 narcissist traits. Okay. Man, I've pull this up pretty damn quick. Must have a good internet connection where I'm taking my stroll right now. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A grandiose sense of importance. Let me define that. Grandiosity is an exaggerated sense of self-importance. I don't have that. I don't have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Like, do I feel superior to others and that one deserves special treatment? Feelings are often accompanied by fantasies of unlimited success, brilliance, power, beauty, or love. So I'm transient in this one. This could apply to me, and this is one of the ones I think personally could apply to me. So I feel that I'm important because, yes, here's a justification, which no one should do, but here's a justification. I feel that I'm important because of what I do for other people. Now, I don't want to hold it over their heads what I do for them, but I would like it if what I do for them isn't forgotten. So yes, I have some self-importance when I view myself, but I'm also not, I don't know, like, I think I'm important, but I don't feel that I'm superior. I'm like, I'm better than you because I did this. Now, I know maybe in my life sometimes it's come off like that, but that's not how I feel. I don't feel like I'm better than anyone. I don't feel that. I just feel that Yeah, I'm important, because if it weren't for what I'm doing for you, like a parent, a parent's really important. If they're taking care of their kid and they're doing this stuff, they're really important. And with the loss of their child, with the loss of a child would go into foster care or have to go with family. That may not be the best thing, and that would be pretty awful. So it's just kind of one of those things. And, when you think about it like that, yeah, that parent is pretty important to that child. And number two, do I have an excessive need for admiration? I must be the center of attention. I often monopolize conversations, and people feel slighted, mistreated, or depleted, or I feel mistreated, depleted, and enraged when ignored. That last one, that one kind of might be something that I do a little bit. Um, I When you ignore me and what I do, or act as if what I do is like nothing, then that kind of sucks. I'm like, are you really just going to ignore that? I did pay the last 10 bills. It's like, I don't feel that way when it's something like, hey, I just, I don't know, I just brought you a latte from Starbucks for $3. Like, wow. You ignored that. No, I'm like, I just picked up the last 10 visits to Starbucks, and you haven't even said thank you. That's when I feel sort of enraged or ignored. When I feel that that's what it is. So yeah, no, I don't fit in here. When I feel like I'm totally being discarded and you're not even noticing what I'm doing in habitual fashion. Start outdoor walk workout. Yeah, sorry. I've been walking for a while now, and just want to get my steps. Superficial and exploitive relationships. This is the third one. Relationships are based on surface attributes and not unique to the qualities of others. Nope, that's not me, because I look at, for the most part, people are shit. But I'm a silver linings type of person, and I like to look at, even though you do these 28 things like kind of wrong, bad, or it's not productive for you or whatever, you are a good advice giver. You give good advice, but you may not take it. That's fine. You are a good advice giver, and that part's really cool to me when I find some, like, because we all, and me included, like, we don't do the best, or the best that we do is like kind of shitty. So it really does pay off, in my personal opinion. It really does pay off to be, to find those good things and kind of latch onto them. A lack of empathy, that's number 4. That's not me at all. Severely limited or total lacking the ability to care about the emotional needs or experiences of others, even loved ones. That is not me. Identity disturbance. Sense of self is highly superficial, extremely rigid, and often fragile. I can be fragile. But it's usually after I've been hit really hard, I kind of break or bend, and I don't know that makes me fragile, because that means I'm delicate, and any little thing might set me off, and it might feel like that to other people. Like, seriously, I can't believe he got so freaked out by that. And it's like, actually, I got so frustrated because of the repeated disrespect, and that little bit of disrespect that you just gave me that sent me off the edge, off the deep end, that really only happened because that was time number 20. And to you, it seems like, oh, why are you getting so mad about this one thing? And I'm like, it's not the one thing. This is the 20th time this week that you did that. And that's why. I'm sorry that I didn't say anything the first time, but holy shit, that's why I'm pissed. Difficulty with attachment and dependency. This one is probably me. Difficulty with attachment and dependency. Relies on feedback from the environment. Relationships only exist to shore up positive self-image. Interactions are superficial, and intimacy is avoided. I lean hard into intimacy, and that's all I want, is to be intimate with people. My interactions are not superficial, not at all. I really do want to go deep. My relationships might exist to shore up my self-image because of how I grew up. with my mom and my dad and their constant criticisms and stuff like that. So it's like I never really had sure footing on if I was good enough or not good enough. So I was always, in a way, seeking their approval as a kid for am I good enough? And then marrying someone that was, I really do believe my wife is just so much smarter than I am. She's really whip smart. Like I've said plenty of times, she's whip smart, extremely intelligent. Trivia is her bag. It's like, whoa, the regurgitation of data and information. So a lot of the times when she would have these warped sense of what happened, or she would fabricate something, because she's so smart, if you enter in my attachment and codependency and the fact that I'm relying on feedback from the environment, she was part of my environment. So if she said something happened this way, I'm going to say, well, I remember it happening that way, but no. I must be wrong. She's too fucking whip smart. She's too on top of it. She's so much better at, oh my gosh, all of these things, trivia, crossword, it doesn't matter. She's so friggin' smart. And I must be wrong because I'm nowhere near as smart with those things. And I did put a big value on those things. So that would make me question and then do what I did when I was younger, just seek validation. And am I this or am I that with my wife all the time? So I probably never really came off like a leader because I would make a decision, but then I would ask for validation. Is this okay? Is this right? What do you think? So it was probably difficult for her in some ways to really get behind me and trust me. Chronic feelings of emptiness and boredom. That's number 7. No, I don't have emptiness. I know that I have a lot of value that I can bring to the world. Whether I'm right or wrong about that, it doesn't matter. I don't have any feelings of emptiness and boredom. I want to be busy. I want to be doing things. I want to be producing podcasts. I want to be producing videos. I want to be writing things down. I want to be making a plan and sort of executing it. I want to do so many things. So emptiness and boredom, not me. Not me. Vulnerability to life transitions. This could have been me, but who doesn't this belong to? Which is why I'm saying all of us are narcissists, and this is the vulnerabilities to life transitions. Difficulty maintaining reality-based personal and professional goals over time. No. When I set my mind to something, I will get that certification. Considering going back to school, I will get my degree. I will. There is no, I'm not going to do that. And a failure to launch. That's another characteristic of a vulnerability to life transition. No, that's not me. Narcissistic personality disorder is also a significant risk factor for suicide and suicidal attempts. No. I have had thoughts, but I think they sort of match up with all of the suicidal thoughts that anyone might have from time to time, which is interesting. I'm not saying that, oh yeah, having suicidal thoughts is a healthy thing. No, it's not. But we think of things, and until you do that thing or try to do that thing, it's not a thing. It's just not a thing. Got to call a spade a spade. I might see, let's just say, an attractive woman, and you think of things. Usually if it's just like, a woman walking up the street, you're just like, man, she's pretty. That's it. Take that environment and put us in a, let's say more of a club-ish, sort of party-ish setting where people are there to be social, mingle, and connect with people they're attracted to. And like a strip club. You put someone in a strip club, and that same girl that was walking past you and you just kind of look over, she caught your eye and you said, she's attractive. That's just a thought. Now that same girl in a bra and panties and, or what, not bra and panties, that's not what they wear at strip clubs. I guess they wear more like nighty teddy things, whatever, more provocative stuff. So they're wearing that. And then she's on the pole and she's doing gyrations and doing very sexual things with her body. Now, all of a sudden, your mind thinks about those acts with you. and being sexual with her, but you still haven't jumped up on the stage and grabbed her, so that does not make you a sexual assaulter because you did not do it. You just thought of it. So, kind of like suicide, it's like, have I had thoughts of, I'm recording a podcast called the Divorce Diaries because of a heavy transition that I'm going through in my life. Oh shit. So let's go back to that thing. What does it say? Vulnerability to life transitions. That was number 8. Difficulty maintaining reality-based personal and professional goals over time. You know what? Let me go back to that. I think I did have, and probably still do, because going through divorce, that is a transition. So the whole part that they say here, difficulty maintaining reality-based personal goals. The reality is I should not be married to my wife. That is the reality. Why is that the reality? Because we are not good for each other. Why am I not good for her? I am not good for her because I am too rigid a person for the free bird that my wife needs to be. I am too pragmatic for the spirit of freedom that my wife would like to live within. I desire boundaries around certain things that my wife doesn't. Conversely, why is she not good for me? She over the course of our relationship, she does not mind communicating details of our relationship with people that don't have our best interests at heart. So she will violate the things that I think are boundaries. She views it as her business to share. And the fallout from those things is typically very negative and bad for us. So the fact that she exposes us and my business to people that mean us harm, all that does is make me feel like I need to protect myself more. Now I feel that I cannot share anything with her that I don't want to put on the nightly news. Anything I tell her, I now feel that it is public knowledge. If I tell her, it's for the public. So now I have an intimacy issue with my wife, which is why she's not good for me, because I wanted to be able to confide in my wife pretty much everything. And now that I know that anything that I communicate with my wife could be shared publicly, I now understand that I must live in my marriage with my wife differently, and it's a way that I can't live. So I cannot live and be with a person that tells other people, especially those that mean us, me, her, harm, my business. I cannot live with she betrays me regularly. So that does not inspire trust, and I need to trust the person I'm with. So that is why she is not good for me, and this is why I am going to file for divorce, and why I understand I need to be divorced from her, because there's a fundamental need that I have to be protected and shielded and guarded that she cannot provide me. And that's okay. I did have a vulnerability to this reality, and I didn't want to accept it. And staying in this relationship has only made me resentful toward my wife. I've just been so angry at the betrayal. I've been so frustrated with how she has moved. And I became even more frustrated over time, where I would say, hey, if you do this, this is how I feel. Hey, if you do that, please don't do that. This is what it did. See, and I would do all of these things. So then there was the perspective difference that we have, where I would say things like, when you told this person that, they told you this, then you did that. Now you regret having doing that. Ta-da! Do you see how your communication with these people or this person, do you see how it negatively affected you, our marriage, me, and makes me not trust you? And the response a lot of the time was typically, well, if you didn't do this, I wouldn't have wanted to talk to them. So that's another reason why my wife and I must get a divorce, because the response that I need and needed was, you're right. I should not have communicated with them. I have learned that now, but we do need to find a way we need some help or something, because when you did this, it made me feel that, which then made me feel like I needed to talk to someone, and boom. So, and this is, I can go back into the principal reason why I took down all of my initial 10 fucking seasons. There was a lot of fucking episodes. I can't believe that I just went like that with the Divorce Diaries. Like I said, if I ever put them back up, they'll be up on Patreon, only because I think that the darkness that was coming through in all of my podcasts was one that might help serve someone somewhere. When you hear the angerness, angerness, is that a word? When you hear the anger, the bitterness, the frustration coming through a man that had what he felt was no control over his life and was just ranting his emotional feelings into a microphone, that might help to serve someone. They may be able to listen to that with some disconnection and say, holy shit, I do the same thing. I feel the same way. Let me see if I can get myself together, find myself some professional help, some therapy, and work through what I need to work through. And most importantly, get a good gauge, because like I found going through my therapeutic journey, I thought I had certain answers and I didn't. I thought I had certain things figured out and I didn't. And that goes for figuring myself out. I thought I was smarter. I'm not. I thought I was more prudent. No, I'm not. I thought I was more under control than I really am. I thought my wife was one thing and she's not. I thought that I let go of my expectations. I found that I didn't. So I really want everyone to be in a better spot after they turn off my diary entries, whether you hear my old ones or you heard the old ones that I put out into the world or not. Because my wife was really, really upset when she found out that I was recording podcasts, and her words were, all you did was talk shit about me on a podcast. She didn't say that I lied. She just said I talked shit. So in one way, I could take a little bit of validation away from that. You're upset that I've made our business public, and she didn't mind talking to actual people to their faces about what was happening with us and the fallout and the affairs and everything that came from her poor actions, but she was able to tell me how horrible a person I am for recording a podcast anonymously with a changed voice pattern and no usage of names or identifiable characteristics. Me doing what I did was worse, and that is another reason why we need to get a divorce and why we are not good with each other, because what's good for the goose is not good for the gander as far as my wife's concerned. And I know that I've been that too. What's good for the goose is not good for the gander as far as I'm concerned. But we shouldn't get to play by different rules. If you did something fucked up, that's okay. Let's just talk about that fucked up thing that you did and leave it right there. But let's not get into a pissing match of, well, I did this fucked up thing and you did that fucked up thing, so it's even. Well, that's actually displacement. That's displacement. That's not fixing anything. That's not making anything better. That's just displacement and trying to make something else be something that it's not or whatever. So that's another reason why we have to get a divorce, because integrity is really, really high on my list of things. And integrity means maybe talking about one issue and solving that. But deflection, that's the word I was looking for. Deflection really hurts me. And it makes me feel bad, deflection. So I now know that I need to be around people. I'm not talking about a romantic relationship because I'm not dating and I have no plans of doing that. I'm not even out of my situation, and my headspace is, I'm still working with my therapist to figure things out. And there's just a lot going on. I have no room or desire to have someone to build a relationship, because I now understand just how serious that is. Building a relationship with someone, it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and I want to be able to put that in when it's time. Yeah, so with integrity being so high for me now, and I understand that it is, I really know that this relationship to my wife is just not something that is going to be healthy for either of us. And this is hard. I really love her. And I really want this and wanted this to work. But I have to accept reality on reality's terms, and this cannot work. And at the start of this diary entry, I said, you're a narcissist. I know you are, but what am I? That's a legit thing. My wife literally has said, like, do you think you're a narcissist? She's trying to diagnose me, and she's not actively seeing a therapist right now. And I am. And one thing that I know is that you're not supposed to try to diagnose other people. And I also know that because I tried to diagnose people without any qualifications, and I've been dead wrong. But I'm on my journey and I'm figuring this out. But I see another thing, what my wife is doing very, very, very much. She's trying hard to solve this problem of me being who I am. That I am a bad person, and I am a narcissist, and I am dark, and I am a lot of things that aren't good. But she also is likely competing with the fact that I'm decent, and I provided, and I loved her, and I spent a lot of money, time, effort, energy, made immense sacrifices for her and our family. So she's likely very conflicted, as am I. But I guess at some point it's time to no longer be conflicted, and you choose to stay together and do it, or you choose to get a divorce. And unfortunately, I'm choosing divorce.
Wow. That was the Divorce Diaries podcast. The daily saga will continue tomorrow. The full season's episodes are on Patreon now. Subscribe for early access. Click the Patreon link in the description. Hopefully, these entries help our anonymous recorder as a form of his own personal therapy. That's his hope and his intention. Will these recordings of life's curveballs lead this family to the best resolution in the end? We'll keep listening. New episodes are released daily on all podcast players, but all episodes are available on Patreon at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Until next time.